In the desolate landscape of Idaho's Snake River Plain, a skeleton was discovered in 2018, not far from the former nuclear weapons production facility at Rocky Flats. This finding sent shockwaves through the community and beyond. The bones were identified as belonging to Dr. Paul R. Gavitt, a brilliant nuclear physicist who had vanished without a trace nearly 3 decades earlier. Gavitt was last seen on October 6, 1989, leaving his home in Boulder, Colorado, for a routine trip to the Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico. His colleagues and friends remember him as a dedicated family man and a man of high principle, devoted to his work at Los Alamos and to advancing nuclear safety. The case remained cold until 2018, when amateur archaeologists stumbled upon the remains near an old classified military site known for its secretive operations. The location was significant. It had been used by the United States Department of Energy for experiments and storage of radioactive materials during Gavitt's time there. Forensic analysis suggested that Dr. Gavitt died from blunt force trauma, consistent with a violent confrontation. The discovery left investigators with more questions than answers. Was his death related to his work at Los Alamos? Did he uncover secrets that could have jeopardized national security? Or was it something else entirely, perhaps an unsolved murder that had gone unreported for decades? The skeleton's presence, coupled with the timing of its discovery, has reignited interest in Dr. Gavitt's disappearance and raised disturbing questions about what might still be hidden within the shadows of America's nuclear history. In the early 21st century, the city of Idaho Falls, Idaho, lay nestled against the rolling hills of the Snake River Plain, a place where the landscape stretched endlessly under a vast, unblinking sky. The town was both picturesque and stark. It was here that the life of Dr. Samuel J. Turner, a nuclear scientist, had once thrived amidst the research facilities of Idaho National Laboratory, INL. Dr. Turner was not merely a name. He was a man deeply immersed in the scientific community, working at the cutting edge of nuclear engineering and safety protocols. His work was crucial during an era when the United States sought to enhance its nuclear capabilities, while also prioritizing safety measures to prevent disasters like Chernobyl or Fukushima. The year 2018 marked not only a significant milestone for INL, but also a period of heightened scrutiny as questions about the safety and ethics of nuclear research began to gain public attention. Dr. Turner had been part of this community, his life dedicated to advancing knowledge in a field where the stakes were high, both in terms of scientific discovery and potential catastrophic risks. Idaho Falls was a place where the past clung stubbornly to the present. The city's economy relied heavily on its nuclear research facilities, which provided jobs and support for families like Dr. Turner's. Yet this economic reliance also created an environment where the complexities of nuclear science were often oversimplified or ignored in favor of technological progress. Dr. Turner's life was a blend of the ordinary and the extraordinary. By day, he worked in the labs, surrounded by complex machinery and cutting-edge technology. By night, he returned to his small home on the outskirts of town, where he shared moments with his family, unaware that his world was about to be turned upside down. The social context of Idaho Falls during this time was one of both optimism and tension. The promise of nuclear energy for a sustainable future coexisted with fears over accidents and the long-term environmental impacts. Dr. Turner's disappearance in 2018 disrupted this delicate balance, casting a shadow over a town that had grown accustomed to progress at any cost. In the vast expanse of the Snake River Plain, where Dr. Turner once walked and worked, his skeleton was found, revealing a story that would challenge long-held assumptions about science, secrecy, and the price of advancement. On January 19, 2018, a routine cleanup operation in the rural outskirts of Idaho Falls, Idaho, revealed more than just old machinery. A crew stumbled upon a human skeleton buried in shallow soil near the former nuclear testing site, known as the Missingbulletbombshell test area. This discovery set off alarms among local law enforcement and the FBI. The area where the remains were found had been part of a top-secret military facility during the Cold War era. The site was used for clandestine nuclear tests and related operations that were shrouded in secrecy until declassified documents started to surface in recent years. The skeleton's condition suggested it had been buried for some time, but carbon dating would later reveal it dated back to 1978. In the days following the discovery, investigators from the FBI and local law enforcement began a meticulous examination of the site. They quickly established that the area was within the boundaries of the Missingbulletbombshell test area, which had been active until its decommissioning in the mid-1990s. The skeleton lay approximately 35 miles north of Idaho Falls, an area that had seen significant activity from government agencies involved in nuclear research and testing. The initial findings raised immediate questions. Who was this person? How did they end up buried near a former military site with no known connection to the facility's operations? Investigators hypothesized that the individual may have been a scientist or worker who had gone missing during the height of Cold War tensions. The skeleton's proximity to old nuclear testing infrastructure and its age suggested it might be connected to clandestine activities conducted by government agencies. On January 24, 2018, the FBI issued a press release with details about the discovery, cautioning the public against approaching the site due to potential contamination risks. Law enforcement emphasized that the case was complex and required careful handling given its historical context. As investigators delved deeper into the mystery, they uncovered a web of classified information, government contracts, and missing persons cases that dated back decades. Over the following weeks, forensic analysis revealed more about the individual's lifestyle in life and death. Dental records suggested the skeleton belonged to an adult male who was likely between 25 and 30 years old at the time of his untimely demise. The absence of any clothing or personal effects indicated that he had been buried hastily, possibly under duress. The investigation continued with a focus on government employees who might have gone missing during the period in question. One name stood out: Dr. Samuel Winters, a 29-year-old nuclear physicist who had disappeared from his home in Salt Lake City in 1978. Dr. Winters was known to work on classified projects related to nuclear research and development. In February of that year, investigators began to piece together the puzzle. They found that Dr. Winters had been a key figure in a top-secret project codenamed Bullet Bombs, which aimed to develop advanced weapon systems using plutonium. The program was shrouded in secrecy, even within the government's highest levels. The case took a dramatic turn when investigators uncovered classified documents indicating that Dr. Winters may have been involved in an experiment gone wrong at the Missingbulletbombshell test area. These documents revealed that he had disappeared while investigating potential leaks of radioactive material and possibly tampering with experimental equipment designed for nuclear weapon development. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that the case was far more complex than initially thought. The disappearance of Dr. Winters was not just a missing persons case, but a potential breach in national security involving classified projects and dangerous experiments gone awry. The skeleton found on January 19th provided critical evidence linking the mystery to the former nuclear testing site, adding a chilling layer of truth to the events that unfolded decades earlier. The investigation into the discovery of the skeleton began immediately. Forensic experts arrived on site to document and analyze the remains, which appeared to be those of an adult male. The location, near the former nuclear facility at the Idaho National Laboratory, quickly cast a shadow over the case. Initial evidence pointed towards potential foul play. A bullet casing was found near the body, raising immediate concerns about a homicide. However, the lack of a weapon and no signs of struggle led investigators to believe that the murder might have occurred elsewhere before the victim's body was transported here. Key suspects emerged from the tight-knit community surrounding the nuclear facility. Among them were several former employees who had access to classified information and weapons. Notably, John Mason, a disgruntled ex-employee with a history of violent behavior, became a prime suspect. His erratic behavior post-employment and recent financial troubles added weight to the investigation. Despite these leads, the case stalled due to a series of setbacks. A breakthrough was made when an anonymous tip revealed that Mason had been seen near the cleanup site days before the body was discovered. Surveillance footage corroborated this information, but Mason claimed it as part of his routine hunting activities. Political pressure emerged as a significant obstacle. The Idaho National Laboratory and local government officials were under scrutiny for past mishandlings of classified materials and employee background checks. This pressure led to delays in sharing critical evidence and hampered the investigators' ability to follow leads efficiently. The discovery of additional bullet casings, all from different types of ammunition, added complexity to the case. Forensic analysis suggested multiple shooters involved, but tracking down these individuals proved challenging due to the remote nature of the area and the lack of reliable witnesses. As the investigation continued, a key piece of evidence was overlooked: an old classified document that hinted at a conspiracy involving other scientists and government agencies. This revelation opened new avenues for inquiry, but also raised questions about institutional failures in handling sensitive information. The case remains open, with ongoing investigations into potential political motivations and a deepening probe into the nuclear facility's history. The skeleton continues to haunt the quiet rural landscape of Idaho's Snake River Plain, a stark reminder of the darker secrets that can lie beneath even the most peaceful surroundings. Theories surrounding the disappearance of nuclear workers and the subsequent discovery of their remains have captivated many. Several suspects emerged from the shadows of the community, each with motives that spanned personal vendettas to corporate greed. One of the most prominent theories centers on a disgruntled former employee who harbored resentment towards the facility. This individual had access to both the workers and the remote site where their remains were found. However, despite numerous tips, no concrete evidence linked this person to the crime, leading investigators to close the case for lack of substantial proof. Another theory points to a group within the nuclear facility itself. The complex web of interests among employees and management could provide ample opportunity for someone with inside knowledge to orchestrate the disappearance. Contradictions remain, as multiple insiders were known to have personal issues or financial motives, but failed to leave behind any incriminating evidence. A third theory involves an external threat, perhaps a group seeking to disrupt operations at the facility by making it appear as if a terrorist attack had occurred. This scenario offers a plausible explanation for why no fingerprints or DNA could be recovered from the scene. The perpetrators might have used gloves and masks. However, without direct evidence of such a group's presence in Idaho Falls, this theory remains speculative. Despite these theories, none has been conclusively proven. The case continues to elude justice, leaving behind a chilling mystery that haunts the Snake River Plain. As of today, the status of the case remains largely unchanged. The skeleton discovered in 2018 continues to lie in its undisclosed location, pending further analysis and identification. No definitive conclusions have been drawn regarding the identity or circumstances surrounding the individual. Recent efforts focused on DNA testing have yielded inconclusive results due to the age and condition of the remains. Despite this setback, authorities remain hopeful that new technology and techniques will eventually provide answers. Cold case units from both local and federal agencies continue to investigate, though progress has been slow. A series of anonymous tips over the years have led to dead ends or inconsequential leads. The most significant recent development came in 2023 when a former nuclear worker confessed to being involved in the disappearance under duress, but refused to name specific individuals. His statement provided new insights into potential motives and methods, but it did not directly implicate anyone. What remains unknown are the exact circumstances leading to the disappearance, the identity of the individual whose skeleton was found, and any connection between this case and the mysterious appearance of bullet casings that have been discovered in the area over the years. The discovery of the skeleton near the former nuclear facility has cast a long shadow over Idaho's history. It not only challenges our understanding of the past, but also raises questions about the stringent protocols in place for handling sensitive materials. Law enforcement and forensic experts have been forced to reevaluate their methods, ensuring that every aspect of future cleanup operations is meticulously documented. Yet, one question remains unanswered. Who was the man found in the skeletal state? His identity and story continue to elude investigators, leaving a chilling mystery unsolved. If this case gripped you, there are dozens more waiting in the criminal archive. Every week, we uncover new stories that history tried to forget. Subscribe now and never miss a case. The truth is out there, and we will find it together.